What is up, everybody? Welcome to the January 2023 Patreon behind the scenes update. I've got a lot of changes to talk about today, and I know this video is probably a day or two late, but it's because I have completely revamped the DD23 Productions Patreon page. Before we talk a little bit more about that, let's do a little bit of review for 2022. Being that this is the first Patreon behind the scenes video for 2023, that means some of you have been here for a couple of months now. So first off, I want to say thank you for your continued support. Last year, via the DD23 Productions Patreon page alone, we raised $763.85, which was a huge help when it came to making Pollo Loco, because insurance alone under the annual plan that I got was like $3,600. Now, from my understanding, the production insurance should get cheaper each year, and so in 2023, my goal is to raise around $3,000 in 12 months for the DD23 Productions production company. And as of the time of this recording, it is January 31st, we have already raised $206.91. Not too shabby. Because the Patreon page is so new, there is of course going to be some growing pains and some problems that come up. One of those problems that I learned about was I cannot premiere any short films that are going into festivals on the internet. I could show clips, trailers, screenshots, but I cannot show the whole film in its entirety until the festival run is complete. So that means Pollo Loco is not going to be available until like 2024. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sucks. But I promise I'll be dropping clips, screenshots, and of course, sneak peeks and trailers leading up until its free release on YouTube. I owe you guys, as an audience on social media, so much. And so in my opinion, it doesn't seem right to ask you to watch a passion project of mine for a fee when I wouldn't have been able to make it if it wasn't for you in the first place. Now, someday I do hope to make a feature film, and at that point I will ask, hey, please go to the movies and see it. Something of that nature, but that day has not come yet. So unless I secure distribution of some sort for any short films that we make through the DD23 Productions production company, they will be available ad-free. Like I said, I know that might sound like bad news, but in return for this unforeseen circumstance, I've decided to completely revamp the Patreon page, which includes lowering the price of the tiers and adding a very new tier that I'm excited to talk about. On the screen, you can see the old tier system and the new tier system, as well as the reduced prices for most of those tiers, but you'll also see a new tier called the Movie Watch Party tier. I love doing the monthly Zoom Hangout, but I understand $10 is a lot to ask. You guys haven't even seen Pollo Loco yet. So I've made the Zoom Hangout tier $5, which will hopefully allow more people to join us. But for those of you that are subscribed to the $10 tier, or you have $10 to donate every month, you can now join us for a monthly watch party where we watch a movie that you guys select via a poll through the Patreon page. I'm excited to see what kind of movies you guys want to watch. It could range anywhere from a movie like Fight Club to a big old stinker like the Emoji Movie, which honestly sounds like it would be fun to watch with you guys. So if you're somebody who's already subscribed to any of the tiers and now you see they are reduced to a lower price, you are automatically upgraded to the next tier, and also you might have seen the special thanks, associate producer, and co-producer credits have been reduced, so the highest tier that you can get is $100 instead of $250, which is quite a big reduction. So if you want to be a big shot producer, building your resume just got a whole lot cheaper. If you want to know more about what's included in each of those Patreon tiers, be sure to check the DD23 Productions Patreon link in the description. On top of that, I want to announce that For the Music, the student project that I made with StoryQuest Studios, which I wrote and starred in, will be available to watch very soon, ad-free, on March 1st. I think For the Music was a great way to launch the Patreon page, but I think it's time for the general public to really see me acting, as well as get an example of what we're able to do with basically zero budget. Now that we've gone through that, I want to talk about the upcoming projects we have in production. First up, we have The Fence. Definitely check out the IMDb page so you can see a little bit more about that film. I recently finished the second draft of that script. It is now 12 pages, which means it'll be roughly around 10 to 12 minutes, which is about half the length of Pollo Loco. I'm aiming to have a more polished third draft by March 31st. That way we can begin pre-production, which includes getting a crew together, casting the actors, and getting our schedule and budget together around April 1st. I am planning to shoot that film in August. Right now it looks like it's going to be a 3-night shoot. And unlike Pollo Loco, I will be starring in this one, but in a slightly smaller part, and I plan to completely direct this one by myself. Pollo Loco was co-directed by my good friend Ben Escobar, who you may know as Genie Boy. And I do want to co-direct a feature film with Ben, but as far as short films go, I think it's time to take the training wheels off and try to run this show by myself. After shooting that one in August, we will go into post-production and hopefully enter our festival run for The Fence in November of 2023. That means we'll have both Pollo Loco and The Fence making their festival runs, and that also means more content for you guys. Speaking of my first feature film, I don't know if this is the first one I'm going to make. I honestly don't think it is because the budget is a little higher than I think a first-time feature film director can secure, but I am writing the script for a feature film inspired by Pollo Loco. It's set in the same universe with the same characters, but it's a much more complex story. I am currently 32 pages into my first draft of that feature film script, and I am aiming for 100 pages, hopefully by March 1st. Damn, I better get my ass in gear. I am then hopefully going to have a more polished second version that I can show to anybody who might be interested in producing it, especially since we'll have Pollo Loco in its festival run, hopefully starting in mid-March. Realistically, I think that film needs a budget range of at least $500K, but ideally $1 million, which is a lot. Which is why I want to talk about another feature film that I am currently in the early stages of writing that I am not ready to reveal more information about, but it will be a much lower budget, and I plan for it to be a comedic horror film that will hopefully be actually pretty scary, at least at times. I'm aiming for around 90 pages for that script, and I'd like to get the first draft done around May 1st. I think this specific film could be made for around $200,000 to $250,000, which I think is a much more realistic budget goal for a first-time feature film director. I also would like to direct that one with Ben, because directing a feature film for the first time sounds pretty intense, and I will share more about that specific project when I have it written, because I'm not sure it's the wisest idea to share a whole lot about it until I have a script already written. I do have another short film already in the works after The Fence, which would be my third short film. It's called Foreclosure, and I've described a little bit about it in a separate video, but I'm not sure I'm quite ready to share more about it now that this video is going to be publicly available on YouTube. But for that one, I'm aiming for about 20 to 30 pages, and I'm also hoping to have the first draft done around May. This one is pretty special because I want to try and secure an A-list actor to play a specific part, and I think it's going to have a much beefier budget of around $50K. The Fence is looking like it's going to have a budget of about $20K, whereas Pollo Loco overall looks like its final budget is going to be about $30K. Pollo Loco was 17 pages, The Fence is 12 pages as of right now, but Foreclosure being 20 to 30 pages, as well as hopefully having an A-list actor attached to it, is going to require a bit of a beefier budget. That will also have some horror elements to it, but it's going to be based on some real life experience, and hopefully will tug at your heartstrings. That's pretty much all I want to share about scripts right now. Again, I will share more about them once they're further along in development, but I want to shift focus back to Pollo Loco because I've got some more stuff to share with you guys. We are still in post-production, working on our first rough cut, and I've seen about a 9-minute rough cut of the film so far. We were on about page 8 last time I checked, and again, it's 17 pages total, so we've got about another 9 or 10 minutes to cut together. Here are 5 exclusive screenshots that I want to share, but keep in mind, these are not color graded, so they're gonna look a little desaturated or a little boring to someone who's not used to seeing an uncolored film. Take a look. So there's a little teaser for you. I will definitely share more screenshots as the rough cut gets further along, and I'll definitely share a lot more screenshots once the film's actually color graded. I would also like to announce that we have attached a composer to Pollo Loco. His name is Austin Geller, and you may have actually heard his music before, because some of his solo projects have actually gotten a little bit of traction on social media platforms as sounds, like on TikTok. He goes by the name Geller, and you should definitely check out his music. And I don't know a whole lot about sound, but his sound mixes for these songs sound so crisp and clear. Dude's obviously got some talent, so I'm very excited to welcome him to the team. I am also currently looking for a poster designer. I'm hoping to have a poster that's going to be pretty simple, like the placeholder poster that I made in Canva, just a whole lot more professional and with, you know, the names at the bottom and stuff. Hopefully I'll have a poster to show you guys very soon. But in the meantime, I wanted to update you with some festival run news. I've actually been working on a list of festivals that I want to enter Pollo Loco into, and right now the number of festivals Pollo Loco is going to be entered into is looking like about 80, which should cost around $3 grand, so you can see how the budget for these films just continues to go up even after it's already been shot. Right now the timeline for that festival run is looking like March 2023 to July 2024, but if the film takes longer to get ready for festivals, some of those festivals might get pushed back to 2024. That's why at this time I do not currently have an official public release date for Pollo Loco. But what I do have is some behind the scenes footage of day 2 on the set of Pollo Loco, but because this video is also available to the public via my YouTube channel, I have decided to include both day 1 and day 2's footage. I'll talk a little bit more about why these videos are available on YouTube, but first, have a look at the behind the scenes footage. All right, man, day 1.
Oh, you don't have to be the bad guy.
It's like I keep this.
Yeah, we're not dumping it with this one.
Hold it, step inside, and then as soon as you're like walking in there, I'll like cut. No worries. Better shot, yeah. Oh, here's the back. I like this the best. Yeah. Great. Goes in, that's fine. Then hold it there. Giancarlo, kind of like start like preparing for it. Like get down and don't actually do it, but just like kind of bend your knees like you're about to.
I didn't pop until 6 months ago. I was born in May. It just popped. The first ones you always like.
Because this would be your close 25.
Yeah, your look on the second text message is really gonna matter here. Like honestly, give it more of a beat because we're not gonna see your face in the first text message. Action. Action.
Hold on, let me make sure the door is actually closed. You can stop.
Actually, start with no pollo.
Yes.
With the finger and then pull it away.
Yeah. Okay, how do you guys feel about that?
Stop. Victor, don't do this.
Don't play dumb with me.
They're all famous.
What's up, Orlando? You good?
Everyone's famous.
How do you want to? We get throw up a
We
floppy?
go that way. We gotta go that
Oh,
way.
you want to? Okay.
Let's go right there.
go away.
Action.
I didn't say nothing, I swear. I have this feeling that he knows. I don't know what to do. Wait.
So there you have it. There's a look at what it was like on set on day 1 and day 2 for Pollo Loco. From this point forward, I plan to release this monthly behind the scenes video on Patreon on the 15th of every month, and then it will become publicly available on the last day of each month via my YouTube channel so that we can get some more people involved with the Patreon page itself. I know this video came out a little late, and it's technically for January, but I plan to have the next behind the scenes video released on Patreon on February 15th, and later on YouTube to the public on the 28th. That means for $2 a month, you get roughly 2 weeks early access to these behind the scenes videos. Hopefully that makes sense, but I understand some of you can't afford to spend $2, and that's okay. Watching this video via YouTube is a ton of support already, and if you want to get 24-hour early access to trailers, screenshots, clips from our current project Pollo Loco as well as future projects, you can join the Patreon page for just $1. There is also an annual plan which will save you 10%. And again, remember that these funds that are raised through the Patreon page, from the sneak peek package all the way up to the co-producer package, help support my passion projects and hopefully entertaining you on a much more cinematic level. That has always been my dream, and while for the past 3 years I've been doing that via social media, it is just a reality that being a content creator is usually not a lifetime thing. And so in an effort to pursue my dreams of being a filmmaker and continuing to entertain you, even after my social media following decides, hey, I'm tired of this guy's content, which sadly is just a harsh reality for pretty much every content creator at some point, I am using these Patreon videos and the Patreon page itself to help jumpstart my filmmaking career. I know I'm just a goofy guy on the internet who makes videos about G Fuel and fast food or my goofy little family, but I do have other dreams and aspirations, and this experience allows me to share that journey with you. Before I go, I gotta mention, I also would not be here if it wasn't for G Fuel. They've allowed me to continue being a full-time content creator as well as pursue my dreams of being a filmmaker. So show some love to G Fuel by using G Fuel code DannyD for 20 to 30% off at gfuel.com. We also have an official Danny Dorito 23 G Fuel shaker, which you may notice is the same logo that we use for the production company, just without the productions word, obviously. So if you just want a cool shaker, or you want to try G Fuel for the first time by getting a starter kit, which comes with 7 G Fuel sample packets, definitely grab one before they're gone. It supports my content, as well as gets us one step closer to hopefully getting a Danny Dorito 23 inspired G Fuel flavor someday. And I can't end this video without dropping a super awesome thank you shout out to our $3 plus patrons. Every one of these freaking awesome people's names you see on the screen right now have given at least $3 a month to the DD23 Productions Patreon page. And if you see your name on the screen, I freaking love you. You're awesome. Thank you so much for your extra support. I seriously could not do what I'm doing without you. And remember, if you want to have your name on the screen like these people, all you have to do is subscribe to the $3 patron tier or higher. Also, I can't forget to say, tell your friends about these videos. Tell them about the Patreon page. Show them how they can get involved. I know some people can't afford to buy G Fuel or give money to the Patreon, but sharing these videos and the Patreon page with your friends is totally free. I would greatly appreciate it. And with that, I want to say, stay safe, be nice to each other out there, and I'll see you next time. Peace!